Hello, I'm Bruce Lorincz, and this show is called Bruce on the Loose. I go throughout Wadsworth to talk to people in the city government, school system, and businesses. Lately, we did shows with Dr. Hill and his anticipation for the new school year and how he was real pleased to have a counselor in each and every elementary building. We also talked to the resource officer, Daniel Schonk, and his getting ready for the new school year and helping especially new students to the Wadsworth City Schools. Today, we're so pleased to have Johanna Perrino, the head chief and bottle washer of WCTV, and Roger Wright, one of the foundation members and also the director of the Four Cities Educational Compact. Johanna, could I start with you, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, and I'm ready for new business cards, so I may use that title.
I tell you what, that might not be a bad idea, since that does fit you quite well. Why was it important to start a foundation for WCTV?
So I guess you can think of it as like the booster club for the high school sports. We are fully funded by the city. We have a budget, but sometimes there's things, just like in our personal lives or in our business lives, that aren't in our budget. So this foundation was set up to provide supplemental support to WCTV. So sometimes there's programs we might want to do. There might be a piece of equipment that we want to purchase. We have some plans for some new sets in the studio. Sometimes those aren't in the city budget, so this was designed to be a fundraising group that would provide financial support to WCTV. We would also like to set up a scholarship for the media communications students. So it would just enable us to do some extra things that may not be in the city budget. A lot of people don't know how we're funded. We are funded through the 5% franchise fee that people pay in their cable bills. So whether you have CityLink or Spectrum, you pay a 5% franchise fee. It goes to the city. That 5% is put into a fund, and that's what we use to operate WCTV. However, it's based on cable service. So as people are discontinuing cable service and going to streaming services and whatever else, that fund is less and less. We're not in any financial danger. We're still fully, but in the future, that may be something that we might need to supplement. So that was another reason that we thought this would be a good idea to set this up.
Speaking of sets, before the show, we were talking about the kitchen. Down the road, you'd like, not that it's my bailiwick, I'm in the kitchen very infrequently. My wife tells me all the time, but really there are people, just like Art and some of the other shows we have, they really could take advantage of and help people, get up on their dishes.
I have always wanted a cooking set. Since I started working here, I mean, I love to cook. I'm a total foodie, and that has been one thing that I've always wanted to do. So we talked about it. I've talked with other producers that have mentioned it as well, and local businesses, restaurants, the fire department, the health department, anybody could use the kitchen. So that's kind of one of our projects, our goals for the WCTV Foundation, is to be able to raise enough money to install a kitchen set. So I think it would be very fun, and I would let you cook in it. I might not eat what you cooked, but
that's right.
I would definitely let you show us your skills.
Well, again, that would be another type of show. I mean, as the years have progressed, I remember way back when in the early 90s, I dabbled with a few early shows in the school district. But they were very limited shows on that station.
And the set, the way we've designed it, and we've been working with National Design Mart, the way they've designed it is it would be a kitchen set, but it would also be able to be moved, like the island would be able to move out, so it could be used for interviews, it could be used for lots of things. And it would be open to the community members just like every other resource that WCTV offers. So.
Is there a governing body for the foundation?
There is a board, yes, and Roger Wright is the president of our board. Yes, there are 7 members now, correct? 6, 7? Yep. 7. Yes, we added one, so I can remember if we were 5 or 6.
Okay. What about this process to develop? You indicated you did some research, and Are there other foundations with other cable stations in the area, or did you have to kind of go
Not that
out
I
of state?
know of. I
Okay.
actually kind of mirrored it after the Wadsworth Older Adults Foundation, because the Senior Center is another city department. So this was kind of another one of my bucket list things. And I started researching it and trying to get to the right people, because we had talked about it for many years, but we couldn't get to the right people to get things moving. So I finally got to the right people early last year, 2021, and our legal department with the City of Wadsworth helped me tremendously. Brad Proudfoot helped me a lot, got all of our documents drawn up. I solicited board members, so picked some fine people that I know love WCTV, know why we're valued, what our goals are, and so that they would ask them if they would come on board as board members. And that's what we needed to do. We had a donation from Catherine Miracle for our application fee, and so we had everything in order. We filed our papers, and we were, I don't know what the word is, approved, I guess, as a 501c3 in October of 2021.
So Roger, this wasn't just a week's enterprise. This was really drawn out. And does the board and foundation have some goals?
We do. So as Johanna said, I mean, we really kind of put together a list of maybe what we would like to see short term and then maybe longer term, with the kitchen set being one of our short term goals that we would like to do right away and generate some funds. And we've got an idea of what that could look like, and an idea of how much that's going to cost us to do. And we've got some fundraising that we've already been doing. We've got money coming in, which is awesome. And I do want to mention the other board members. You know, we've got Roger Polk, Brandon Davis, John Madding, Catherine Miracle, Jenny Young, Victoria McCauley, Johanna, and myself. So a lot of people that have been around WCTV or familiar with it for a long time, know its value in the community. And like Johanna said, I mean, we see how the landscape might be changing with some of the things with, so, you know, the cable changing and streaming and things like that. And this WCTV, as you know, Bruce, it's such a value to our community. It's something unique to Wadsworth, and just has been such a blessing to our community for so long. We want to make sure that continues. We want to make sure that we can keep, you know, moving forward and adding new things, you know, that we haven't done before, like a kitchen set. You know, everybody loves the Food Network, right? We just had a chef in the Four Cities Compact, Ashton Garrett, that was on the Food Network the other night with Bobby
really?
Flay. Yeah,
wow.
so you know,
That's awesome.
just there's a lot of good possibilities there, and I think, you know, there's a lot of exciting things we can do.
It probably has surprised you. I think you were in the district when WCTV just got going, the diversity. And I just rave with ventriloquists and all the religious shows. And just an array, artists we mentioned,
Wine with Wanda. There's just all kinds of crazy, great shows.
Sports,
High school sports,
all the city meetings.
It's endless. I mean, all the variety that we have and the opportunities that people have to do their shows. You know, it's awesome.
When did you get started in WCTV?
I was trying to think of that. It's been a long time. One of my first appearances was with you when I was a middle school teacher on your show in the early 90s there, I'm sure. I
think this is Wadsworth City Schools.
Yeah, that was maybe my first appearance. But yeah, it's just over the years, just you know, being able to be on different shows, and now we do striving to be the best. Wadsworth City Schools, being a part of the football broadcast, you know, for years, and just, you know, just enjoy the Blue Tip Parade, just so many things that, you know, I've been able to do with WCTV. That's why it's so important to me. And the foundation, the idea of the foundation, when Johanna approached me, absolutely, this is such a valuable part of our community, and we want to keep it going and make it even better.
Just amazing, the coverage for football, and you know, it's in the hallway there. The Grizzlies beating the old Worcester Generals. I enjoyed that. Kind of from Worcester for a few years and moved out to the country, but. I think sometimes the kids can't wait to race home, and I think it's a delayed maybe an hour or 2 hours, and they kind of evaluate how they did, and and really enjoy watching, and the grandparents that maybe can't travel can watch that and really get into those games again. And it's wrestling, it's girls basketball, right down the line. We try to do all those things.
Yeah, I was just watching the show with Janie, and she had Drew and Bixler and John Bernard on talking about the football broadcast, and I did one on Glory on Grandview. We did an episode on that, but the football coverage is amazing.
It is.
I mean, that is something I was fortunate to be a part of, and when I was coaching and everything, it was neat. You could just watch the games all week long, and all over the years, so many comments that I would get from people saying, thank you, we, just like you said, Bruce, grandparents that lived in Florida that, were able to watch games, and my brother in Wyoming would watch the Grizzly games every week and, follow the team. It was really, really a neat thing that our community offered.
How does it make you feel when people, maybe you're shopping or somewhere else, say, hey, I watched that game, and you had some great comments about that last drive or something? It kind of makes you feel good, doesn't it, that they're into the telecast, and they're very supportive of Wadsworth schools.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd always kind of wait to see, did you like the broadcast? If they mention it, then, yeah, then then you can kind of see that they were happy with what you did, and we were never professionals, but we brought with John producing and the production that we had. I mean, replays and graphics and all that. It was really well done, and I did hear that too when we were announcing. We'd go different places, and people who had seen those productions saying that for a high school football game, that is really well produced. So, hats off to John Bernard and the whole crew that worked on that.
Johanna, how could citizens and people that view and watch WCTV support the foundation?
So we have a couple ways. We have a donation site that's set up. They can go to our website, which is wctv.wadsworthcity.com. They can go to our Facebook page. It's pinned on there, Instagram, and we have a raffle. So that's our first big fundraising effort. We have a 40 times $500 raffle. So what we're doing is we're selling raffle tickets for $10 each, and there it is on the screen. You can actually put your phone up to the screen right now and scan that QR code. They're $10 each. Every time we sell 100 tickets, we pull a $500 winner. And so far we've had 4 winners. And the first one was Lori Polk. We've had Stephanie Ebner, Mike Kovac, you see there on the screen, and Kelsey Kirby. So we've sold over 400 tickets so far. And we're just going to keep going. And the reason it's called the 40 times 500 is because next year is our 40th anniversary. So we're kind of gearing up for hopefully a year long of some sort of celebration. So we have the raffle going on. They can also purchase WCTV apparel or apparel of your favorite shows, which you see on there, Polka Time Again. You can pick a logo with Gene and Joe or Gene and Mike. We also have a ticket trivia logo. Again, you can get a WCTV logo. We're working on a few other logos that just might feature one of the hosts of this show. And we're working on one with Wine with Wanda. So those will be upcoming. You can order those at thegrizzlyshop.com, or again, you can go to our website. There's a link to the foundation, and that'll tell you all about all the ways you can help the WCTV Foundation. So they can just donate if they don't want raffle tickets. There's a link for that. They can buy raffle tickets. They can buy shirts. We get a portion of every shirt sold comes back to the foundation. And Roger Polk is at the farmers market every Saturday morning from 9 to 12 selling these raffle tickets. So
So 40 years has gone by really quick. I can remember the early days of WCTV, and it was kind of funny. With the cue cards, they would hold up a card. So now I can see a monitor, and I know exactly where we are in the show. We've come a long way.
And then, speaking of Wine with Wanda, Wanda donated a wine basket.
Wow.
So we are doing an online auction for that. And there you see on the screen, this basket features 8 half bottles of wine that Wanda has picked. She is a certified sommelier, a socialite, a wine educator, a lecturer, and a national wine writer. So she knows her stuff about wine. So it features the 8 half bottles of wine, 4 wine glasses, some tea lights, and 12 greeting cards that she has designed exclusively for Wine with Wanda. And you can also go to our website and social media for a link to that so you can place your bid. It's all going to be online, and we'll have that open for a couple weeks. So hopefully that raises a little bit of money for us too. And Wanda did a short video talking about each of the wines, so you can find the link to that on there too.
So a little education, a little background.
Yes,
yeah,
not only a little,
right?
little cocktail, but a
well,
little
I know
education.
some states have really gotten into wine a lot more. My eldest lives in Washington, and they really have had a lot more wineries pop up in the last couple years, and they take a great deal of pride, not only in apples and cherries, but now they're getting into wines as well in the state of Washington. So yeah, that would be very interesting. Johanna, can I ask you, people may think that, well, Wadsworth is in the cable business and has local productions, but so do other cities. Wadsworth just completed, they're ready for their third game with Barberton, Worcester, Medina. Could you compare those cities to what we do here in Wadsworth?
So only Medina had, well, Worcester has their own, they're called local origination. So it's not set up the same way that WCTV is. We're a city department. We're what's called a PEG Access Center, so it's public, educational, and government. Not every city does that. We produce about 1,800 shows a year.
Excuse me?
A year. So
18, are you talking about 5 years?
1 year. So that's about 150 shows a month that come through WCTV. Not everyone is produced in the studio, but we facilitate all of those productions. They may be city meetings, high school sports, a producer like you just coming to us with an idea, and we help them facilitate that into a television. So all done by volunteers, all done by people that we train on our equipment that they can use, or they can use the studio, and that's how many we do. I won't list the cities, but I will tell you we send programming all over the United States. Most of them are in Ohio, but we send to other states as well. Most of the other access centers like us do maybe 10 to 15, 20 shows a month. And we're doing 150 a month. So coming through with two full-time people.
The staff here, very limited staff, are very, very busy.
We are busy. And we, as you know, John Madding retired in 2020. So we originally had 3 full-time people, but we're still doing the same amount with just John and I. So
and we need volunteers, don't we, for some of the sports?
We love our volunteers.
Soccer, lacrosse.
And that's what enables us to cover so many more things. We have parents that are covering lacrosse, or not lacrosse right now, soccer, volleyball, boys and girls soccer. In the spring, we have parents that cover lacrosse. So we couldn't do it without our volunteers.
Now, the coach could ask a parent that he knows has a little bit of background, what about the equipment and training? Would they have to go out and buy their own?
No, and they don't even need a background. They just need to know which ball to follow.
Okay, all right.
Because we provide all the training. We have camcorders that the parents can sign out. We have parents that just tape it on their iPhones.
Oh, okay.
Or they'll do it Facebook Live and we'll download it from there. So, like I said, not everything comes through is produced in the studio, but it's still sent to us. We process it, we get it on the air, we archive it. It's available forever. So, yes. So we provide all the training and the resources if anyone would like to volunteer to do any of those sports or anything else they have a show idea for.
Roger, why is it important that WCTV and other ways you promote the Four Cities Compact? I'm a firm believer in that program, and it really encompasses 3 other school districts. Why is that significant?
Well, it's just great. I'll give you a good example. Is our house every year that our carpentry program builds. Every year we do a virtual, we tour the house, we video it, we interview, we have the teacher on, Mr. Kali, we've got students that help build it, and it's just such a great way to bring that to people. Again, we were talking about sports, but I would imagine students, grandparents, and people that live out there are watching that. Like, look, my son or daughter helped build this house. Sure. And it gives an opportunity to see that. So, aside from that, we do the Wadsworth City Schools striving to be the best. Since I'm one of the co-hosts, I always make sure we get some of the compact programs worked in there. But you know, again, the compact is something we are constantly trying to educate people about, make people aware of. You know, of the programs and the opportunities within them, and WCTV just provides a great avenue for us to do that, and we you know, take advantage of it every time we can.
I think you would be in the catbird seat because we need people, and you know, because of the labor shortage, it doesn't matter what you're talking about: cars, carpenters, medicine, education. I don't think there's one area I can name that we don't need people, Roger.
No, we need, you know, so many, everybody's looking for good workers, and Compact's fortunate. We have 21 different programs at the 4 high schools. We have a media program here. We have a new teacher, Paul Taylor, that we got from the Cleveland Browns. Really an interesting background, 14 years. And Johanna's been over there as a guest speaker already to his classroom. But that's a perfect example of, you know, people that have an opportunity to learn about an industry, meet people that are in the industry, experiment, do some hands-on things within an industry to decide if they want to make a career of it, and then we help them get their start. So, you know, WCTV definitely helps us with that.
We're really hoping to partner with them a lot now with the media program.
So what did you say in the class, Johanna, since we put you on the spot since you went over there?
I talked about what WCTV was.
Right.
Many students didn't know what we were.
Sure.
You know,
sure.
Which is hard to believe, but I understand. And then I just talked about the opportunities that they have. The media class has to get internship hours. So we have all kinds of opportunities. We've already set up a Google spreadsheet that I've listed all the events that we need volunteers to cover.
Such as? Such
as the First Fridays.
Okay, all right.
We want a crew down there every first Friday to just go into businesses, talk about what they're doing. The Historical Society events at the library, the speakers, those are talking about our history. We want to capture all of that. Those are just a few of the things. So the kids can actually sign up to cover those events, and this you know, sheet is interactive, so Mr. Taylor and I can see what events will be covered by the students.
Do they do Board of Education meetings?
They do that through the class, yes.
Through the class, okay, right.
Now these would be outside of class, but they could record things and then edit them inside of class. Okay. So, and they would get their internship hours. So hoping to be a good partnership this year.
How many different producers do we have, Johanna?
So I just sent out a mailing today, or last week, for the nominations for the Clapper Awards, and we had about 125. So not all of them, you know, produce regularly like you do, but we have about 125 active producers.
That's mind-boggling. I would have guessed maybe 50. I would have said maybe 40 or 50, but
we have about 40.
Does that surprise you?
No, we have about 40 or 50 active series programs. So all these people sometimes they produce one time a year, you know, but they're still involved with us. So, but yeah, so my mailing was about 125 people, so those are producers.
Roger, might the foundation spread the word and say, you know, hey, producers, maybe recruit a couple more people? In fact, Johanna and I tried to recruit Kathleen Pado. She talked, we were on a show recently, and I said, you would be perfect for maybe a quarterly show. And of course, I had to talk to good Dr. Hill. I said, Dr. Hill, you have such good information. Why don't we do a quarterly show? He said, well, yeah, I think we can. So I think those types of ventures are very important to keep WCTV growing, don't you?
Absolutely, and the board we have talked about, you know, we have so many people that are producing, and just if they're spreading the word about the foundation, you know, that's a great way for us to get the word out about that and how people can help the foundation and help WCTV.
Joanna, I have to correct you. You said we have people watching throughout the United States.
Yes.
You forgot Polka Time again.
Polka Time.
International.
We are international. So with our online site on demand, watchwctv.com, people can watch from anywhere in the world. And when I look at the statistics, I often see viewers from Europe that comment on Polka Time again. So yes. All over the world.
How does that make those producers and you feel? I mean, it's just, again, something that you never would have thought would happen.
No, but you know what? Everything is available all over the world now. So, you know, with YouTube, it's everywhere. So, but having that site and our producers love it because we can see who's watching. Sometimes on Ticket Trivia, the game show we do on Thursday nights, we get some viewers that are out of the country, and it's very, very interesting how they find us. You know, that would be interesting to find out.
I would name Homer Baldwin as the father of WCTV. What would he say today about WCTV? What would his comments be?
He was always so proud of this, and we have a plaque right outside the door because this facility is dedicated to him. And I think he would just love all the diversity, the different programming, the length of time we've been here and our growth. I mean, even just when I started, we did about 200 shows a year. Now we're doing 1,800 and growing. So I just think this is everything that he had in mind when he started it and worked with Mr. Lyron in the city to get this started. Everything that he envisioned it to be, and 100 times more.
You have a final comment for the audience to support the foundation?
Yes, I would.
Why is it important to support the foundation?
So we have a lot of things, some wish list things, and we just want to make WCTV sustainable, and we want to grow, and we want to do some fun things for the community and for our producers, and we are always open to ideas. And to be able to do those things, of course, we need funds. So we invite people to go to the website, go to our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And as always, they can call the studio, email us, and talk to me. I'll be glad to talk about the foundation. So,
very informative show. Thank you very much, Johanna and Roger, and thank you for viewing Bruce on the Loose, and we will be back with additional shows in the future. Thank you. We were about 5.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.